morning, my Sierra Leonean friends and family. This is the Master Dream Builder. This is Reggie Cole. Today, na Thursday, the 22nd of January, 2026. A beautiful day outside my window. It's raining, but rain serves a purpose. So we tell God, thank you for rain. Some countries, then they look for rain. They not get. So when we get, not to complain, in everything there's a positive if we look for it. You know, in the last couple of days here, I can't remember which, but it was definitely this week. In some groups, I can't remember which one, and it doesn't matter. Some people in the debates, the $100 billion GDP movement, the plan, they debating it. But underneath the bonnet of that debate, there was lots of people coming in with excuses why it would be difficult, why it would be impossible, you know, because of the nature of our mindset, the tribal things where we get, the cultural blockades where we get, the things that would allow to go on for 65 years. They say it would be impossible. Well, if you know Reg Cole at all, there's one word we're not to go with me, life or lifestyle, and that's impossible. You know what I do with impossible? I change the word. Yes. You know, impossible is IMPOSSIBLE, right? So you know what I take one little thing. I divide the word. I put the IM to one side. I put between the I and the M. I put an apostrophe there. Impossible. That's the way I live my life. If you know me up close and personal at all, that's exactly how I live. Nothing and nobody should stop me or get in my way. But this is not about me. This is about Sierra Leone as a country and as a nation of 8.4 million people. We seem to don't turn excuses into culture. We have perfected the art of excuses. We don't wrap them up in tribe, baptize them in nepotism, hidden them behind the occult fear, and defended them with utmost corruption. We blame history. We blame colonialism. We blame tribe. We blame religion. We blame this party, that family, that religion, that secret society. What is it? One day we say they all don't do one day or they all don't do poorer. I mean, come on, guys. But here is the truth that must be said without fear. None of our excuses in Sierra Leone are unique. None of our problems in Sierra Leone are exclusive. And none of our suffering is special. The world is full of countries that at one time been poorer, more divided, more corrupt, more traumatized than Sierra Leone. And yet they chose discipline over drama, systems over sentiment, and production over politics. That's why every time I come on here, or most times at least, I'm asking for a leader with backbone and not a leader with wishbone. I see that 22-year unemployed, council flat living tap to me idler. They take in tail go na Davos. Yes, I said tail, illegitimate president. The over 400 trips now have been made by private jets. But let me tell you something. Your economic numbers stay the same. It was $4 billion GDP in 2018 when Madabio took over, when he was handed over power by Ernest Bai Koroma under the false pretense of regime change. It was $4 billion. Today, you get $4 billion worth of GDP again in the real economy, not the debased nonsense the minister did. The real economy is still 4 billion. But there's a couple of things about that 4 billion day. Every time I come to Ona, they bring this kind of rubber on our face. Don't understand that we need change and we need to change. Now, Yes, of that 4 billion, there are two things, characteristics about that 4 billion day. Number one, inflation don't eat into it. So its buying power, its purchasing power is now reduced to 50%. It's actually 2 billion. So in real terms, Salon don't go backwards in GDP in terms of growth. Do you understand which I tell you this morning? Then of that 4 billion day, even when we get 3.6 billion, they go to the colonial system of IMF and World Bank. 3.6 billion. So Sierra Leone only gets $400 million left. There's some footballers in this world now earning, maybe a couple of them, that money they combine. Okay? Now, let me give you some examples that you cannot dismiss. But why don't give you that number and then you ask yourself, why is a woman waiting in Canada or America, ending name Lahai, writing about bio in waste of time trip? These people are supposed to be intellectuals. This is what I say. This is why I say some people left Lunge. Lunge never left them. And the only reason why the woman they writes then kind writing and they is because of tribal lines. So even though she's in the first world, in the West, she's tribalistic. Because she very well knows you're not going to be an accountant or economist, but you know that what in Mother Bio to do so is absolutely wrong. But I digress. So let me get back on point. Singapore, you say, we don't tell for anybody Singapore. The country of 4 countries. Singapore rise from slum to sovereign power. Singapore was once a filthy port city, riddled with ethnic tension, multicultural, multi-nation tension, secret societies. Yes, not only normal get secret society, corruption. But guess what? No natural resources, no hinterland. They didn't have provinces, but no mercy from the world either. In the 1960s, Singapore was expelled from Malaysia. You know, Lee Kuan Yew, the leader, crying at television. You know, where you go in secret society, where you go church, where you go mosque, pray Lord we get a leader, we get backbone, not wishbone, like Lee Kuan Yew. It cried on television, not from weakness, but from responsibility. Yesterday, I make Owan Kasu send to MK because Lee Kuan Yew used the language that I am the parent and my citizen are the children. Let God give you that kind of leader day. Because a good parent, any parent said, you want to see you picking do better. But it seems to me that all the leaders that were on Salon, they don't want to see Sierra Leone rise. And Singapore made a brutal, honest decision. No tolerance for corruption. No tribal politics, national identity from where you came from, Chinese, Malay, or India. No romance with poverty. They're not to go around telling them people say we are resilient, so look, let's put up with Sambagota and all put up with hospitals without medication. No selling off the nation's core assets. The nation not mean get core assets, but they had core public utilities where they had to use. So the housing, the ports, the airlines, the utilities. The states kept control, not for politics, but for performance. Singapore not privatize their future, then professionalize it. And I want to bring Dr. Go Geng Sui inside this. We say the tragic illusion of most third world nations is that they believe politicians and civil servants can build their nations the way entrepreneurs can. Guys, you've tried it for 65 years. It's never going to work. You will go to your grave disappointed. I guarantee you, if you're depending on politicians and civil servants to build your country. Today, Singapore has world-class ports, state-owned airlines, competing globally, sovereign wealth funds, owning assets worldwide in the top 3 in the world, citizens living with dignity, safety, and opportunity. They not pray their way out. In fact, Lee Kuan Yew, there's a clip on TikTok where he say, I will never allow Christians to come and Christianize this place. Let people then choose their religion, but this will never be a Christian state. Okay? Nobody know they pray past the Africans. Look at the state of Africa. They did not excuse their way out. They worked their way out. Okay, you say, well, me, I don't have a Singapore working record. No problem. Let's go to South Korea. From war ruins to industrial giant, South Korea was flattened by war. In the 1950s, it was poorer than many African nations, including the country where they talk about Sierra Leone. They had dictatorship, repression, corruption, foreign interference, mass poverty. But Korea understood something critical. You don't build a nation by selling it, you build it by production. The state-led industrial policy, Samsung, protected key sectors, invested in steel, shipbuilding, electronics, partnered with private firms without surrendering national control. Partnered with private firms without surrendering national control. Broken record. Partnered with private firms without surrendering national control. Korea did not privatize its way to Samsung. The state guided finance and disciplined industry because they understand that any country without this formula is a failed state. Man's material wealth equals natural resource plus human energy times 2. That's the factor for production and wealth creation. Today, the export cars, Hyundai, Kia, ships, chips, and technology. When I say chips, also the way they eat, the way they go inside your computer. Their people are skilled, proud, and globally competitive, exporter of human capital today. They stopped blaming yesterday and started designing tomorrow. One of my office around the corner here, so yeah, in a place. Samsung. Yeah, the employees, and they pick them up in luxurious buses from the station. Then around 4:30, they can park. Pick them up in luxurious, take them back to the station, let them go to their various homes. That's how much this country, they do for them people. What about Vietnam? We watched the Rambo. Remember Rambo? Sylvester Stallone. You drew frost blood. From bombed fields to manufacturing powerhouse, Vietnam was bombed for decades. Then poison America. These are great white knights. Then poison the people they land. The people were traumatized. Its economy destroyed. Yet Vietnam made a revolutionary choice. We will open to markets, but we will not surrender our sovereignty. We will welcome business, but the state will remain strategic. Vietnam did not privatize everything. They kept land under public control. Key infrastructure under state direction, long-term planning at the center. Today, Vietnam manufactures for the world. Have you seen the VIN group? That's just one group, VIN group. Go research it. Get yourself educated on these things. It fits itself. It exports value, not excuses. Now, let me tell you a story. They never tell you about Bangladesh. In 1974, Lee Kuan Yew was giving a speech, and they won in people brutally and honestly. That are just 9 years after the independence. What was Sierra Leone doing in 1974? Were we busy killing people that will feel say na descent partners from the army, Pashaki? Now that they been busy they do, waiting for Kabasa Lodge result, for Bomber result. For airport where them bill, but now Kenuga for go to the mainland, for no electricity, for no waiting at me point. All these killings, bitching, and fighting, has it been worth it for Sierra Leone? The answer is a resounding no, and you know that yourself. But look, when you said, if you screw up your own country, get ready. No one is coming to save you. Our international partners, our development partners, our international community, they're not there to save you. They're there, and very cunningly so, on the interest of their own citizens, not on the interest of Sierra Leone. They will never do it. He then read how the world spoke about Singapore. Western newspapers said Bangladesh was permanently non-viable. But before I go far, I use me tools as I can tell people them and play the tape.
When Bangladesh gets into trouble, let me read to you the kind of sympathy they show Bangladesh.
In 1974, Lee Kuan Yew reminded every Singaporean that if you screw up your own country, get ready for no one to save you.
Now let me go to the other extreme. The poor. You know, you've read about Bangladesh. Famine. Floods. Well, when we discipline ourselves, the Western journalists say authoritarian government. Dictatorial. No freedom. When Bangladesh gets into trouble, let me read to you the kind of sympathy they show Bangladesh. I'm reading from a very reputable newspaper called the London Times of the 14th of August. And they sign themselves. Now, Mr. Nicholas Ashford, he writes, Bangladesh lives continuously on the brink of disaster, and it is hardly surprising that many foreign aid officials have become fatalistic. Some believe Bangladesh can never become economically viable and will always have to be supported by massive injections of foreign assistance. Even optimists expect that the country will require sustained large-scale aid for many, many years. And self-sufficiency will only be possible if the high population growth rate can be curbed. See, when you can't put your house in order, they say, well, there you are. Hopeless case, non-viable. No, all the sympathy you get are just words. Another correspondent, same newspaper, 3 articles on a human tragedy. And it says, Michael Hornsby from Dhaka. He's more sympathetic because he's right there on the spot. So far, the only international response to the Bangladesh government's appeal for help has been a trifling contribution of $20,000 US, of course, from the United Nations Disaster Relief Office in Dhaka, and an aircraft load of supplies from Britain. Anywhere between 60 million, I don't know, 60, 70 million, they haven't taken a census for some time. There's been a war, many have died, but definitely not less than 55 million people. 70,000 square miles. And the ending is, Michael Hornsby from Dhaka, there is probably also a feeling that the floods do not represent a compelling case for a special international relief effort, inasmuch as they are an annual phenomenon with which Bangladesh must learn to cope with its own resources if it is to be a viable country. If it is to be a viable country, this is an annual phenomenon, you cope. Well, there's a moral in all this for us, isn't there? If we don't cope with our problems, that's the sympathy we'll get. And even as we are coping with our problems, you know the rumors that go out. Singapore is not viable. Mind you, it's a honk. I don't blame them. They try. No hinterland, no oil. Viability, as you have seen, 70,000 square miles, 55 million people. And the conclusion, Michael Hornsby from Dhaka writes is, must learn to cope with its own resources if it is to be viable. And I think that's the first lesson. We learn to cope with our problems. When Bangladesh gets...
Right. We learn for cope with our problems. There's no international community coming to save you. Look at what's happening with the tripartite agreement. They are sitting on the result because Madabio, they give them everything they want. That is it. There's no diplomacy. They're sitting on the outcome of the 24th of June, 2023, because Madabio, they give them all the minerals and resources that they want for their own people, whilst our people are dying of Kush. They're watching it happen in their diplomatic cars. They don't give a rip about Sierra Leone. I am telling you that. Western newspapers said Bangladesh was permanently non-viable. They also said that about Singapore. They said they were hopeless, doomed to depend on aid forever. A country that must learn to cope with its own problems. Even when the floods, they kill thousands every year, the sympathy was words, not rescue. The message from the world is very clear. If you, as a citizen, cannot organize your own country, the world will write you off, or the world would use you like a long step girl. Now listen carefully. Bangladesh had floods, famine, war, overpopulation, no minerals, no oil, no diamonds, no gold. And today, Bangladesh has a GDP 100 times that of Sierra Leone, approximately $475 billion United States dollars GDP a year. Do you understand what I just said? $475 billion. No resources. Floods every year. 98% of the Bangladeshi children finish school. Compare notes with Sierra Leone, with our diamonds, with gold, with rutile, with bauxite, with fertile land, with fisheries, with one of the best natural harbors of only three way God make in this world. We're languishing at $4 billion GDP. And we'll get to our home wedding at the West. They write about how Madabio had a good conversation at Davos. My rear end. These intellectually morally bankrupt people praising somebody just on tribal lines because your name na Mende, so it's acceptable for you to come propagate that nonsense there in our faces, whilst people are dying on the soils of Sierra Leone. $4 billion GDP. Pardon me. It's not bad luck. It's bad thinking, stinking tribal thinking. Here's the hard truth, Sierra Leone. And it goes for the same for the Timini. So not come to me and say, na Mende, they pick on Mende. No, the Timini do the same. You not see road? You not see road? Emerson Pool song say, but would they ask for Ministry of Health? But look at the road. Would they ask for Ministry of Agriculture? Look at the road. But everybody was piling up behind DBK. Today the rubber don't meet the road. And all the pans suffer. Pound nonsense. Okay? Sierra Leoneans want first world outcomes with third world thinking. I see it in my life. And me, as I be deal with people that can mentor me, they give them one assignment, and I go and go so. Because they want magic. They don't want to go through the process of growth. You cannot practice nepotism and expect meritocracy. Practice tribal voting and expect national unity. Practice corruption and expect prosperity. Practice occult fear and expect scientific progress. Practice excuses and expect excellence. It just does not work. A country does not rise because it is loved. It rises because it is disciplined. A nation does not become rich because it is spiritual. It becomes rich because it produces. And let me be absolutely clear. Privatization not save Singapore. Privatization not save South Korea. Privatization not save Vietnam. And privatization, sure as hell, did not save Bangladesh. What saved them was a strong, competent state, clear national priorities, zero tolerance for corruption, and citizens who stopped lying to themselves. Sierra Leone will not be saved by another IMF loan, another election slogan, another tribal champion, another foreign consultant, or another excuse. The same problems we claim are too African, others faced and defeated because they made a decision. So here is the challenge, my people. If you think your excuses are unique, you will stay poor. The mansion that you build in Sierra Leone, you will never live there. If you think your tribe is more important than your country, you will stay divided and you will be held responsible in the heavens for that division. If you think corruption is normal, you will stay broken as you are. But if you truly decide to build an economy, to respect systems, to reward competence, to protect national assets, and to produce more than you complain, then Sierra Leone would rise, not by miracle, but by methods. The world has already shown us the way. The question is, no longer can we. The question is, will we stop lying to ourselves and our generations to come? So I'll leave you with this personal motivation stuff that might drive you this morning. You yourself as a person. But together as a nation, if we think this way, maybe, just maybe, Sierra Leone, the $100 billion GDP plan will be delivered on a platter for you to eat your portion of the gains. God bless you and God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone.
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? Don't have enough energy? Don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity potties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
If you want it, you gotta go get it.
This is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your place. This is your opportunity.
This is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today. It's your dream. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to have it, rise and grind.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. It's grind season, homie.
Well, another the word no so. My mentor Bill O'Brien used to say, Reggie, you either make excuses or you make money. You just can't do both. And I don't live on excuses. I don't live on excuses. We're looking for a leader. We're ready for implement this Sierra Capital Holdings $100 billion GDP plan that will screw everything, screw every international community, and move the country in the direction of our dreams and our God-given talents that we have. That's what we're looking for, Sierra Leone. That's what we need. I still have hope for Sierra Leone. It's not finished. It's not over. It will take one leader, like a Lee Kuan Yew, one leader like a Sankara, one leader like a Kagame, one leader like a Traore, one leader like a J.J. Rawlings. That's what it will take. We need to find that leader, and tribe should not be part of the selection of that leader. Party should not be part of the selection of that leader. I tell you, within that leader should be engrossed with everything Sierra Leone, every betterment for Sierra Leone. That's who we're looking for. May God send us that leader today. May God send us that leader today. If not Samuel Matthew Wilson Kamara, let the door open for and quick. Do you allow get on with this country? Thank you very much. Do share this message.